Doctor's Day, a very auspicious day for me because I would like to use this opportunity every year to rededicate myself to the principles that I believe in, and most importantly, an important component of the Hippocratic Oath is to keep the good of the patient as the highest priority. And I never forget to remind myself that the patient places his or her entire life in the hands of the doctor when he or she visits the doctor. He or she exposes her body to the doctor, whether it is for medical treatment or surgical treatment, and the doctor is a complete stranger. This kind of faith and trust, I can assure you, no other profession can have. So much of trust where patient places which he or she may not even disclose to the close family member about an issue that concerns his or her health is the greatest privilege the doctor is exposed to. And therefore, he or she must have a higher moral code of conduct. And that is something that I try to inculcate amongst trainees who come and work and understand how privileged as a profession we are. I am deeply grateful for the very kind remarks from Shailaja Nayaji, sorry for the mispronunciation. I had really deeply humbled by your kindest remarks. So gratitude is the best attitude, and I'd like to express my gratitude to Lion Deepak Bhattacharya, who actually called me, and Menanji, who has really been instrumental in getting me here. So I'm very grateful to all of you, the distinguished lions. My father was a lion a long time ago, and I was remembering So everything begins with the story, and my story began when my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer whilst I was obtaining treatment, whilst I was obtaining training in the United Kingdom. And that was actually the turning point in my life. Being the only child, I started inquiring as to how breast healthcare in India is delivered, and I realized breast cancer is a big tsunami, it's a closet issue, it's hushed up, and because of lack of awareness, absence of a screening program, more than 60% present in the advanced stages. This happens even in a city like Hyderabad. This is a lady from an upmarket Jubilee Hills who was presented with a locally advanced breast cancer. And there's a fine line between advocacy and scaring people. I don't want to stand here to scare you on this auspicious day, but just to remind you that breast cancer is the commonest cancer affecting women in our country. And so I decided, along with my family, to relocate to India to fulfill my dreams of one, to establish a foundation, two, to introduce the breast center concept, third is to implement a population-based screening program, and in my professional lifetime to ensure breast surgery becomes a distinct subspecialty in the country. And I was aware that dreams are a dime a dozen, and I can say with hand on my heart that with the grace of God Almighty and blessings from patients, I have been able to serve as a living bridge between the United Kingdom and India on several counts. And you can see from time to time various monuments turning pink in Hyderabad during International Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So the first reason why I wanted to come back to India was to address this closet issue, which is hushed up. And that's the reason why so many women present with advanced stages. And so a foundation, a not-for-profit foundation, was established in my mother's name, who is now 90 years old, and she is the one who spearheads the foundation's activities in terms of creating awareness, reaching out to the community, and supporting survivors. The first thing we did was to publish information booklets on every aspect of breast health care, every conceivable aspect, not just breast cancer, but even benign conditions, commonest conditions like breast pain. And this was published in English and Telugu so that people are informed. And then inspired by our Prime Minister's Digital India campaign, I was able to bring out a mobile app in 12 languages, commonly spoken languages, which has all this information explained in simple, easy to understand language, which is freely downloadable in both App Store and Google Play Store. It's called ABCs of Breast Health, and it just gives all the information that is required that you can ask your doctor and actually be empowered, even without the need for going to a doctor. And Amitabh Bachchan was kind enough to launch this without taking a single rupee. I just had to write to him, and he became the face of this campaign, and it resulted in a number of thousands of people downloading this app. And then we launched the Pink Ribbon campaign. Instead of just me going and speaking at various places, we invited celebrity breast cancer conquerors. This is Bonnie M, lead singer. Those of you who are at my generation and older will know Bonnie M. And when she came, she's a breast cancer survivor, so we didn't pay her anything. I requested her to come. She came to HICC in February 2008, and we had thousands of people there, and that's the first time that people started taking note of the foundation. And we had several other celebrity survivors. This is the spouse of the then United States ambassador who had breast cancer. And this is Pam Chopra, who is the wife of the legendary filmmaker Yash Chopra ji, who became a patron of our foundation. And then we started doing the Pink Ribbon Walks, which is held in the first Sunday of October, where it started off with just 50 people, survivors who would come. This is a patient of mine on your left who had chemotherapy, had surgery on day 1 with a drained bag. She came to walk and flag off the Pink Ribbon Walk. We've had people from the old cities, where it is even more family. This is a 23-year-old patient of mine, again on day 1 of the surgery, she came and to flag off the Pink Ribbon Walk. And we extended this not only in Hyderabad, we extended this to Warangal, we went to Vijayawada, we went to Visakhapatnam, and every October, what started off with 50 people, now thousands of people join us. And previously we used to request people to come and flag off prominent people so that it attracts attention. Today we are at the stage where prominent people approach us to flag off the Pink Ribbon Walk, whether it's film stars, sports stars, or politicians. And then we started illuminating monuments to attract attention. This is the Buckingham Palace, this is the White House in pink. Like that, all the monuments and prominent buildings in Hyderabad turned pink. For the only city in Asia Pacific region, as far as I'm aware, that so many buildings turned pink in October to create that much needed awareness. And the Honorable Governor was kind enough to let her building, her Raj Bhavan, be illuminated. This is the only Raj Bhavan in India which turns pink in October. So we also launched the Pink Connection, where survivors are given a voice to speak, to highlight what they've been through, so that people are aware. This is a quarterly publication which has been published since 2014. Our Honorable Vice President last year was kind enough to launch the helpline, where anybody can access a helpline which is run by survivors free of cost, so that their problems can be alleviated to a certain extent, where hope and courage can be spread, and it aims to reassure the worried well. And then, as advocacy, the question is, has it made an impact? Certainly it has made an impact in urban India. In rural India, the issues are different. I'll come to that a little later. And then, parallelly, I wanted to, with all the training I had, I wanted to start a breast center. A breast center doesn't mean a cancer center. Breast center is a center that addresses problems relating to the breast, and 9 out of 10 breast lumps are benign. So the aim of the breast center is to reassure the vast majority of people who are worried because they think they have cancer, but they are in fact well. So they don't like to go to a cancer center. But the breast center concept means it is not a cancer center. People can come, and then most of them go back reassured, and 1 out of those 10 who has cancer are dealt with in a sympathetic and empathetic manner, with extensive counseling involving a multidisciplinary team in a sensitive and caring environment. And this is now an established concept in the West, but in India it was non-existent when I came in 2007, and therefore, built upon all my experience, We established this center at the KIMS hospitals, where I'm so grateful to the management, the managing director and the board of directors who have given me a free hand in running this. This is Dr. Bhaskar. I'm sure many of you are aware about him. He's our visionary managing director who has given me that kind of free hand to develop this institute. And it's not just me. You've got to get a team, and every member of the team is an equal member. Nobody says sir. Everyone is the same. We talk on first term basis, because unless they are on same term, they feel threatened or scared to speak to me. That should never happen. I should not feel have any barrier between me and my colleagues, and similarly my colleagues should not have any barrier, including the person who sweeps the floor is an important, valuable member of our team. That is how we respect our team members. And that is how, because of the team, it's not me, it's because of the team that we have been able to make a huge impact, not only nationally, but internationally, where I'm actually in a couple of months organizing the 10th National Conference of the Breast Surgeons of India. It's all these people that make the team and make it an effective team. So we were the first to launch the digital mammography, and we are again the first to launch the 3D high resolution mammography as well. So the advocacy has created awareness, and the breast center has ensured people come for early detection. Now you see a lot of women coming just for screening. That is the whole point of screening, to detect cancer before the lady or the doctor can feel it, so that you can pick it up so early. If you pick it up so early, there is no need to remove the breast. The breast can be preserved, and you can reshape the breast, giving good cosmetic outcome. The patient will not need chemotherapy, and she will succumb to old age and not cancer. That is the kind of guarantee we can give to people who come with very, very early breast cancer. And they are able to achieve excellent cosmetic outcome. When you remove a lump, there's bound to be a big defect. We reshape the breast with oncoplastic surgical principles so that there is no defect. The patient herself sometimes cannot even see the scar. And this was, we have published this in several publications, chapters in books, and we've had several visitors like Jeannie Marford, who has visited our center. We've had the British High Commissioners who had come down to our center unannounced to see firsthand as to what we were doing at the center. So it has proved to be a successful concept in India, and I'm very pleased that several other people are trying to emulate this concept by implementing a similar service across the nation. So the third component here comes to, I've touched upon the screening. The screening, we know, as I've just mentioned to you, that is a large cancer where you can do very little. This is a small cancer where you can transform the life of the lady by giving her excellent quality of life and a normal life. And as I said to you, we don't expect her to succumb to breast cancer. But if you look at rural India, where our majority of our population live, 70% of our country lives in rural India. I've stayed there, I've been with them, and they are oblivious to quick river campaign, they're oblivious to awareness. For them, hand-to-mouth existence on a daily basis is the main issue. And in such a place, how do you create awareness? What applies to urban India doesn't apply to rural India. So mammography, much as it is a useful tool to pick up cancer early in urban India, we are very fortunate that we can afford it, but it does not apply in rural India because huge costs, huge variation in mammography reporting, and ladies and gentlemen, 87% of our population are under the age of 50, where screening mammography doesn't really work so well. So screening mammography is not a population-based thing in a country like India. So in an endeavor to find Indian solutions to Indian problems, what we did is we trained the healthcare workers with established proof that in low and middle resource countries, if you're able to train your healthcare workers to examine women, and if there is a lump, then it is brought to the notice of the doctor, then it can be a very valuable exercise. So it can save lives, it can help to downsize the tumor. So it is a simple, inexpensive tool, downsize the tumor, and what we did initially was we partnered with the then government of Andhra Pradesh in 2012, that's the Chief Secretary, the Health Secretary, because by then the foundation was known. So people knew about what we were doing, and then what we did is we partnered with them. We got the healthcare workers to attend the program. We trained these healthcare workers, and then when the government of Telangana was formed, the chief minister, I approached him. He gave a free hand. The healthcare workers were empowered, taught, and then we spread to Andhra Pradesh as well. And over a period of 4 years, 2012, 2016, using audio-visual aids and hands-on training to these healthcare workers, we reached out to 4,000 villages spread across 18 districts in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh to implement this program, and those cancers that were picked up were treated also free of cost through the Aarogyasri program. I must give a disclaimer here that although KIMS hospitals treats Aarogyasri patients, I ensured so that there is no ambiguity in the program that we were doing that none of these patients picked up or with cancer came to KIMS, because it should not be construed as something which is used to attract patients. So this was a charitable initiative done through the foundation, and this has been now replicated across the country through these healthcare workers. These are various healthcare workers obtaining training. So that's a typical village where the healthcare worker sits in the center of the town hall. She educates the people, audio-visual aids are done, are used. She takes the people into confidence because she's the one who checks their BP, she's the one who conducts their deliveries, so she's the one who goes and examines the breast of these people, because that is the only person that they will allow any access. So that is what we recognize and ensure that we utilize these healthcare workers, for which we are very, very grateful. And these are the statistics. All the cancers detected were treated free of cost. So this training program, when it became a success, I wrote to the Honorable Prime Minister, and within 48 hours I got a reply, and he put me in touch with the Union Health Secretary. And to cut a long story short, this is now part of the National Health Mission. The oral cancer, cervical cancer, and clinical breast examination-based screening for breast cancer is now part of the National Health Mission, where it is being implemented across the nation. And finally, I'd just like to touch upon the Brest Surgical Society. It's all very well that I am training, I am doing well, but I need my colleagues also to have a similar ethos and training. So we developed what is called a Brest Surgical Society, where there won't be everyone who does only dedicated breast work like me, but those who do breast work in addition to other things, we got them under one umbrella organization, mirrored upon the UK and American model, and we established the Association of Breast Surgeons of India in 2011, and over 10 years we're celebrating 10 positively eventful years this year, and we've been able to train them, empower them with the latest advances, and we've also got the trainees from here to go to the UK to obtain training as well. So in conclusion, what I'd like to say that breast cancer is a big problem in our country. Even today, it is a taboo. Even in many parts of urban India, it's a cause for great concern. The breast center concept, which I just alluded to, the advocacy initiatives that I alluded to over the past decade, has certainly disrupted breast health care in this region and has brought about that much needed awareness about early detection. Opportunistic mammography, yes, all of us here, if your spouse, your mother is over 40, obviously every year you must give, in fact the men here in this audience, you must give your spouse or the woman in your life an annual screening mammogram, because the woman is the nerve center for the family. If she is well, all of us are well. If she is not well, none of us will be well. So I think that is the least that we can do. Instead of buying a sari or instead of gifting something else, a dinner, if you give an annual mammogram to your spouse, that's the best gift that you can give. But in our country, where majority live in rural India, the population-based screening program cannot be by way of mammography. It has to be by way of clinical breast examination. The Association of Breast Surgeons of India, ABSI, is striving to standardize and pave the path towards improving breast health care in India. So when I graduated several years ago, I've come a long way. My mother's setback in the form of breast cancer was the driving force. With focus, determination and hard work, I've been able to make a meaningful difference. with the grace of Lord Almighty, and returning to my motherland has been a constant opportunity, because my parents were there for me when I needed them the most. I'm there for them when they need me the most. That is what God has taught me through my mother's illness, that I'm meant to be here. Thank you very much, Dr.